The second episode of the Book of Boba Fett is out, and where the first episode lacked, this one more than made up for it. But if you've only watched the Star Wars films and series, you probably don't know who some of the newer characters may be that have made appearances in the Book of Boba Fett. And they are important. These characters are Black Krrsantan and the Pikes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Gerald, and I'm a Star Wars fanatic. If you're new here, please go on and hit the subscribe button to join the fastest growing Star Wars channel on YouTube. With that said, let's move on. Warning, there will be spoilers for the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett titled The Tribes of Tatooine. If you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it and come back. If you stay on this video, you have been warned. If you were wondering who the Wookie is that accompanied the Hutt twins while confronting Boba Fett, well, that's because he hasn't been in any of the series nor the films. He's a Star Wars comic legend, though. And no, I don't mean legend as in non-canon Legends material. I mean an actual canon character who is a legend in his own right. His name, Black Krrsantan. Hopefully, after this video, you'll have an understanding why this character is going to blow up in Star Wars media very soon. But that doesn't explain who he actually is, or why it's significant that he has shown up in the Book of Boba Fett. Well, let's get into that. This next bit I pulled from Wikipedia, and I'll link it in the description below. Black Krrsantan, nicknamed Bitsanti, BK, or Black K by Dr. Aphra, was a male Wookiee bounty hunter whose career spanned from during the rule of the Galactic Empire into the era of the New Republic. Originally captured from his home world, Kashyyyk, and trained by the infamous Zanti brothers as a gladiator, Krrsantan later became a ferocious bounty hunter. He was regularly hired by the crime lord Jabba the Hutt, and at one point was hired by Darth Vader during the Galactic Civil War to track down and capture an agent of the Emperor. In his early life, Black Krrsantan fled his home world of Kashyyyk, the same planet Chewbacca's from. BK was cast into exile and voluntarily joined the gladiator ring. He proved himself early on, winning every match he was put into. He later left that life to take up bounty hunting. He was hired by the likes of Jabba the Hutt primarily, Dr. Aphra, and even Darth Vader. Darth Vader had conscripted Jabba the Hutt to give him his finest bounty hunters in order to find out who the young farm boy was who destroyed the first Death Star. While Boba Fett completed that mission, Black Krrsantan was sent to discover who an agent was that was working for the Emperor. He succeeded. Black Krrsantan even battled Obi-Wan Kenobi and held his own. That's how powerful this guy is. Black Krrsantan is important to the Book of Boba Fett because if ever there was another bounty hunter that Boba Fett thought was nearly his equal, it was Black Krrsantan. The one-time partners are now surely going to have a battle royale. BK is fearsome. He fights dirty and loves what he does. If ever there was an evil Wookiee, it's this guy. I know a lot of people complain that it should have been Cad Bane or Bossk to show up in this episode, but for the story, Black Krrsantan is the perfect addition. Not only because he's formidable, but also because he's a fairly unknown character that has a lot of potential. Let's leave Cad Bane and Boba Fett's next interaction to the Bad Batch series. Next up, there's a sequence of events during Boba Fett's flashback that entails a train running through Tusken lands and taking shots at the indigenous tribe from the safety of their fortified hover train. The crew killed a few of the Tusken Raiders and their bantha. This group's called the Pikes. Now, if you've seen Solo: A Star Wars Story, then you've seen the Pikes. The Pykes Syndicate has a long-standing track record of nefarious dealings in the criminal underworld. In Solo, a fragment of the syndicate operated on Kessel, where they would mine unrefined coaxium and the drug known as spice. But before that, they were part of something much bigger. During the Clone Wars, Darth Maul, or just Maul at this point, gathered all the major crime syndicates under one banner, his Shadow Collective. One of the goals Maul set them out to accomplish was to intimidate the Mandalorian people in order for the Mandalorian terrorist group Death Watch to be seen as saviors, therefore replacing the pacifist Mandalorian government with Death Watch. The plan worked. The Pikes did their part and remained loyal to Maul even into the Galactic Civil War. They dealt in slavery, especially Wookiee slaves, and built up a small criminal empire that stayed a bit lower to the radar than, say, the Hutts. They aren't pushovers by any means, so when Boba Fett and his new Tusken allies won the day, it isn't a far stretch to say they'll be back, and in greater numbers. The Pikes are ruthless. They even captured Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker's former Padawan, and rendered her Force abilities useless for a time. They aren't a syndicate to be messed with. I don't see this ending well for the Tusken tribe, unless they can band all the area's tribes together to fight this threat. In both of the episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, we see him a little compassionate. Probably too compassionate. He should know better than to trust the Pikes will do the right thing and leave them alone. If they do return, this is going to be a heartbreaking battle, a slaughter. Especially now that there are no Hutts on Tatooine that can control the Pikes and their spice dealings are wide open and unchecked. But hopefully, I'm wrong. I don't want to see anything happen to the Tuskens that we are coming to understand as an indigenous race that's just trying to survive in their ancestral lands. With the addition of these two elements, Black Krrsantan and the Pikes, it's going to be a rough road for Boba Fett to control the criminal empire he's trying to build. So yeah, adding these elements into the story is a big deal. But what do you think? I'm sure we know what the outcome's going to be. Or do we? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you disappointed in the addition of Black Krrsantan? Would you have rather seen Cad Bane or Bossk, maybe Dengar? I'd love to hear from you. I do read all the comments and try to respond to them directly. If you're new to my channel, go on and hit the subscribe button and give the video a like. It really does help get my videos out there to be seen by more Star Wars fans. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, the only way.